Welcome. We are doing some cute little New Year's Eve cocktails for your parties that you're going to be having at home. Probably still with the people you've been quarantining with since March, but that's okay. Keep it spicy, keep it feisty. We're doing some fun little cocktails for you tonight. So we're going to start with this really incredible cocktail from this content creator I've been working with on Instagram. His name is James Gonzalez. He goes by Gonzo's Cocktail Creations on Instagram. Please check him out. Does incredible work. He recently just did like a little release of this really beautiful like beeswax old-fashioned batched cocktail that he sent out. I'm telling you, one of the best things. Like, drink it by the gallon. So check him out. This is one of his cocktails that he sent me. We're doing like a little collaboration. We're doing the cocktail and then I'm pairing it with something I think would go well with. He sent me this Manzana del Mar cocktail. It's a apple mezcal, beautiful little creation in a glass. So let's get right into it. For the cocktail, you will need the following. You'll need a mezcal. Since you are mixing it, you don't need to get so crazy and like spend $50+ on a mezcal. Because a lot of times they do make really beautiful, incredible mezcals that are made more for sipping. But since we're mixing this, you don't need to go that high. So I got this Del Maguey Vida Mezcal. I think I paid right around $30 for it, so nothing too crazy. I have some apple brandy here, Calvados, something in that family you wanna be able to use. Some agave syrup, some Angostura bitters, and some fresh lemon juice. And that's really all you need. So what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna take my mezcal and I'm gonna do 1 ounce of my mezcal into the glass end of my Boston shaker. And then I'm gonna take my apple brandy, my Calvados, and I'm gonna do another 1 ounce pour of that. So again, we have 1 ounce of our mezcal, 1 ounce of our apple brandy into our glass. I'm gonna take my agave, and we're gonna do a 3/4 ounce pour of this. So again, 3/4 ounces of our agave, just because you don't want it to be too sweet. Pour that right in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take my lemons. I'm gonna juice them into this container first and then pour it into my measuring cup, my little jigger here, to make sure that I have the right measurements. But you're gonna need 3/4 ounces of lemon juice for this drink. All right, so now that our lemons are juiced, what I'm gonna do, like I said, is just take my container of lemon juice and kind of measure it out right into here. Again, you want 3/4 ounces of that right into there. And then last thing we're gonna finish with is just some Angostura bitters. Bitters are really like salt and pepper for cocktail making. So never exclude them. I know the word bitters might kind of turn people off, but just think of it as like when you season your food with salt and pepper. So you're gonna do 2 dashes of your Angostura bitters right into your glass. I have some ice in my opposite glass here. So I'm just gonna pour those 2 together and we'll give it a shake. All right, so she's all shaken. Next thing you wanna do, pop the top off, get your little Hawthorne strainer here, and we're just gonna strain it right into our glass. Make sure you get it all in there. Look at that beautiful cocktail. Oh my God. All right, so that's the cocktail, boys and girls. So simple, so easy to put together. You can even batch this in advance if you want to, and then just kind of pour it out as necessary. But I would recommend kind of shaking each one just a little bit over ice before you serve it, just because it gives you a nice kind of like frothy layer at the top. So for garnish, all I'm gonna do is just take a few green apples, go ahead and just put them right on my toothpick. Just slice thinly like this. Make them look as cute as you can. And just right over top. And let's move on to the next one. We're getting started on our next cocktail, but first, we are gonna do a very quick, very simple little appetizer to go with it. It is like a homemade pimento cheese, a sliced pork chop, or pork tenderloin, whatever you wanna use. And then it's just all on a really nice piece of thinly sliced pumpernickel bread. To start, what you wanna do is, and we're gonna start with the pimento cheese. Take 8 ounces of cream cheese, preferably softened, just like at room temperature, basically, just leave it out for a little bit. I'm gonna put this right into our bowl. And we're gonna whip that or mix that with our hand mixer here with about 2 cups of cheddar cheese. If you don't have a hand mixer or something like this, you can still do it. All you want to do is cut your cream cheese up into like 1-inch chunks, just to make it easier for you to mix by hand, just so you're not hardcore struggling. And then what I'm gonna do is just go in with our hand mixer and just slowly start to incorporate all this and get it all together, and then we'll add the rest. All right, so now that it's all mixed, what you want to do is just, mine's going a little out of control today for some reason. Just get it all off just like that. Okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. So you should have something that looks like this to start. So then what we're going to add to that is 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Just kind of count it out, whatever you think is best, 2 tablespoons. Just about a tablespoon of garlic powder. A little bit of salt and pepper, probably a tablespoon of each, or not tablespoon, a teaspoon of each, I'm sorry. A teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my ground chipotle pepper, just to add a little bit of spice. You can use cayenne pepper if you want as well, or just like ground red chili pepper. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of that in there, just to get a little bit of heat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and back in with my mixer and just get all that combined again. So we have all that mixed together. So what I'm gonna do now is I have some peppers here, pimento peppers. They're both very similar. So either of those will work great. If you can't find any of those either, you could also just use like a roasted red pepper, which is pretty common in all the grocery stores. So you just wanna drain those off if there's any oil or water in there. And then I'm just gonna roughly kind of chop them up. I'm using just about 4 ounces of peppers here today. All right, so the peppers are in. I'm gonna fold this in with my rubber spatula. Just get everything combined. And then I'm just gonna let this sit out at room temperature and kind of let it soften a little bit more. So now the pork. I am just using 2 boneless pork chops here. Really simple, really cheap for me to get. And it's gonna go great on top of our bread and with the pimento cheese and with this cocktail we're gonna make. I just grabbed a napkin. I'm gonna just pat them dry very quickly. Get all those residual juices off. All right, so seasoning for the pork. Very simple. All I'm gonna do, salt, pepper, some of my chipotle pepper. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to, and then some garlic powder, and that's it. I'm gonna stick it into a 375-degree oven for just about, for my 2 pork chops I have here, maybe like 10-15 minutes, somewhere in there. Take it out, take the temperature. Should be right around 150-ish, and then we're gonna let them sit, make the cocktail, and we'll put everything together. So it'll be all set. So I'm gonna go in with my coarse ground pepper, coat each side, and then we're gonna flip it over and do the same on the other side. So my salt here, some garlic powder, and then some of my chipotle powder. All right, so I'm gonna go stick these in the oven, and I'll see you when they're done. We are starting on the cocktail, again, courtesy of the one and only James Gonzalez of Gonzo's Cocktail Creations. He sent me over a beautiful sounding batched bourbon cocktail that's perfect for small gatherings, large gatherings, however many people you're having, or for yourself if you're just feeling like drinking that night. It is called Orange You Thirsty, Honey? How do you like that? How cute is that? We need to make this orange honey syrup that we're gonna use as the base. So it's super simple. All you wanna do is bring just about a cup of water to a simmer in a pot, and then go ahead and turn it off, and then put in 2 orange tea bags, like 2 tea bags that are orange flavored. I'm just using like the Tazo Wild Sweet Orange tea bags here, but any like orange flavored tea bag will work. Just make sure that it's not like mixed with anything else. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop these right in. I'm gonna let that steep for just about 5 minutes, and then once that's done, we're pretty much ready to go ahead and build our cocktail. Our tea bags have been steeping. They're just about done. It smells beautiful in here. I'm just gonna go get rid of those very quickly. And then all we're gonna do is add in, so equal parts sugar, so 1 cup of sugar, and then about 3/4 cups of honey. And then we're gonna turn the heat back on to medium, let everything combine, kind of dissolve nicely together, and then we'll go from there. Make sure the sugar is fully dissolved in there. What you're basically doing is creating a simple syrup. It's just a flavored simple syrup, an infused simple syrup. We're gonna take it off, let it cool for a little bit. We'll finish up our appetizers, and then we'll come back and finish the cocktail once the syrup is done. So I'll see you then. It's time to put together our appetizer, the pimento cheese with the pork on the pumpernickel. So let's go ahead and slice these. For what I'm using it for, I'm just gonna do little thin slices like this. So all I'm gonna do now is take a slice of our bread, kind of cut it into a square. You can give these crust pieces to the dog. And then I'm just gonna take this square and cut it right in half. So we're left with like little crostinis like this. So let's put it together. All I'm gonna do is just take 2 small teaspoons, just grab a little bit, and then I'm just gonna kind of push it right onto my slice of bread here. You can do as little or as much as you want. Really, it's totally up to you. I just like to make sure that you have some pretty decent covering on the bread. Just take a slice of your pork right on top. Fits perfectly on top of these little squares. And then all I'm gonna do is take 1 pickled jalapeno and right on top. And those are your appetizers, boys and girls. Super simple, very easy to put together, super flavorful, and it goes great with this cocktail, with Aren't You Thirsty, honey? Let's get this cocktail made. So first thing we're gonna do is, again, this is a batch cocktail, so you can, of course, break it down into individual size portions, what I'll put in the description below. But for what we're doing here, it will be batch. So we're gonna be measuring things like by the cups. So we're gonna do 2 1/4 cup of bourbon of your choice. Again, I wouldn't do like a super expensive bourbon or anything just because it is getting mixed. So I'm just using some Jack Daniels here. Not that Jack Daniels isn't a good bourbon, but you don't need to be using like $100 Pappy Van Winkle. That's way more expensive than $100, oh my God. Then I'm gonna take my syrup that I made earlier, and I'm gonna do 1.5 cups of my syrup. And it's cooled down just a little bit. Again, if it's a little hot, that's okay, because we are obviously gonna be putting some ice in here. 1.5 cups of my syrup, my honey orange syrup. And then we're gonna do 1 cup of fresh lemon juice. 1, 2. And then we're gonna do just 1 cup of just plain water to help dilute everything. All right, so there's our water, and there's our cocktail. I'm gonna mix it up in here with my little swizzle stick, whatever the hell these things are called. And let's try it. I have my glass. I'm just gonna pour a little bit over top and see how it tastes. And so again, with all of these, with both of these cocktails we made today, James is also gonna be making a video of him making his cocktails. I mean, these are his. But he always adds his really nice little touch and flair onto everything. So be sure to check his out once they drop. We'll be sure to coordinate it so we all are together on that. And then he's also gonna be trying his hand at our 2 little appetizers we did today. The tacos, which he did in the previous video, and then our pork and pumpernickel little tongue twister appetizers that go great with this cocktail specifically. So let's give it a try. So good. Dangerous. Oh my God, that's dangerous. You do not know there's alcohol in there. All right, so we are done for the day. Again, a huge shout out to James from Gonzo's Cocktail Creations. I'm gonna link all of his socials. He has a YouTube channel, all that good stuff in the description below. Be sure to check him out. He's also gonna be putting out a video, like I said, kind of making our appetizers along with his drinks again, so you can see how the creator himself does it. But it was a huge success. Again, we did the Manzana del Mar, which was the mezcal apple cocktail, beautiful. And we have this dangerous little number here, the Aren't You Thirsty, honey. Both came out great. I'm super happy with it all. Appetizers taste great as well. So enjoy your New Year's Eve. Be safe. Don't do something stupid. And be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.